And hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the stream. Just come back off work, and so we're going to do a couple of hours of Grand Tac and continue on our campaign, which was going rather well. Well, actually, it was sort of middling. It was a bit of a stalemate, if I'm honest, but if some progress had been made. I'll do a bit of a strategic recap, and we will continue after the great load. Really, after 1863, my knowledge of the war sort of deteriorates. Like the Battle of the Wilderness and Cold Harbor and Chattanooga, that sort of thing is it sort of falls by the wayside. But from 1861 to 1863, I'm pretty up to scratch with most of the big battles like Antietam, Chancellorsville, Fredericksburg. But it's really towards the coming of the end of the Confederacy after 1863. It's what they call it, the Confederate high water mark. Still, where are we? What was a strategic recap? So, where are our forces? We have in the Army of Northern Virginia, or Northeastern Virginia, the Army of General Meade, which we're going to add some more men to immediately. We're going to add another 4k men. There we are. That's 80,000 men now. Just preparing our readiness before we move forward into enemy territory. I'm going to build up some more depots while we wait. In the north, we have the unready Armed Department of Pennsylvania of 80,000 men who were repulsed from the western part of Richmond, has been pushed back up to Union territory, where they are now waiting to get their readiness up to scratch before they move further south. To the west, we have the Army of Pennsylvania. It's only 12,000 men. It's more of a corps, really, and that is waiting to get their supplies up, preparing for the next bout of offensives. Over to the west, we have got... Where's my army in the west? In Nashville. The Department of the Ohio, who is currently moved down to capture Nashville, but is just building up a fort just to protect our rear lines before we move any further south. There's the Army of Tennessee to our northwest, just monitoring our position, and over we appear to the west, we start seeing a large portion of Confederate troops beginning to move in to repulse us from the west. Meanwhile, the actual Department of the West is just running out of food, just not doing very well right now, as we wait to get our supply lines up before we move further south. But that is just the nature of the beast, unfortunately. I wonder if I can build another railroad in Missouri. It's unlikely. No, it's unlikely. Anyway, for the next period of time, so to speak, we'll be moving down into Crillerton and further down in the uncontested areas of Fort Smith. Meanwhile, we'll be holding here at Nashville, waiting for more readiness and more supply before we move down. So far, the war's been going pretty well, although that repulse has been a bit of a nuisance. Still, once our army is ready again, we can begin moving out to hopefully recapture Richmond. It shouldn't take too long to do, if I'm honest. So we're back in the green now. I'm going to wait just a little bit longer until my armies are more ready, and then we're going to move down even further south. The Army of Pennsylvania, I'm going to add a few thousand men to the Army of Pennsylvania. That's another corps worth of men, or another division's worth of men, which I'm going to upgrade. Just so it's a bit stronger with its 24,000 men. But as you can see, my army's manpower limitations have gone to the wayside now, and we're pretty healthy. Yep, the union's printing more notes because we've done printing notes. We can't go down to Industry 3 anymore because of our starting focuses, but what we can do is go down Diplomacy to get more guns that way. That Army of Tennessee is hovering around me, but he can't really do anything to me right now because that army's got 14,000 men, that army's got 7,000 men, so that's 20,000 men altogether. Meanwhile, the army of the Department of Ohio has got 50,000 ready and able soldiers ready for the cause. Our supplies are almost back up under Grant, which is good. That's one more day and we'll have that sorted, and hopefully Grant will stop starving again. There we are. And now Grant should stop having supply issues, which he is. He's now supplies going back up. But it looks like the Department of Ohio has decided to challenge the to be challenged by the Missouri State Guard. So I've made a mistake here. I thought I had 50,000 men, but actually I only got 26,000 right now. So it's going to be a pretty even fight. That's why they moved in to face me. They've actually got more guns, but I am quietly confident in McClellan's abilities to not get me killed. Because although he is an awful initiative general, he is good at training, so hopefully his troops are being well trained over the winter period. But we will see. Yeah, like a lot of soldiers did like McClellan. It's just that from a strategic point of view, he just was very, very cautious. So we are at the Battle of Nashville. So it's got a new novel map for us. We haven't really fought a lot of Western theatres, which is actually quite nice. The enemy is coming down from the northwest and potentially also from the west itself. Our capture points are located here, here, and here. So what I'm thinking is, from a defensive purposes, is to hold around the main capture points of the south here, or to push forward and secure a lot of the bridgeheads, because I know that the enemy is going to be marching down the Nashville Turnpike because of that one big route. It's unlikely they're going to move over and cross there because of the limited routes over. So if I split my armies to hold the north at the Murfreesboro Junction and the Walter Junction, it should limit where they can go and stop them crossing. That is what we're going to do. However, it could go wrong because my army's size is quite limited right now. And so we could have problems, because if they do decide to march the long way around and go up and through Lebanon Turnpike, that means my entire flank will be pushed off. World War Z, probably we'll do it Tuesday. World War Z Tuesday. We'll go do that bad boy Tuesday. Because I've already loaded up now. I did realise you may give me a call. Well, you may come on Tuesday. You may be online Monday, but I've already loaded up now, you know. I've already loaded up. The damage is done. The damage is done. Still, how's things been, Duel? How's your video going? Is your video going well? I hope so. I'm going to tell my general to do some rallying as well. And then these guys can move up to hold North Murfreesboro. So it's going to be quite a mixed battle, if you know what I mean. It's going to be quite mixed, but we will see how well this works out for us. Who do you belong to? No idea. You're just going to go over here then. And this looks good, so we'll have this unit move up just to hold that right flank, and hopefully that will be enough to deter any further movement from the enemy. But we will see. We will see. Hopefully that M22 video does well. I do recommend you get a clip of the sneaky boy, the sneaky M22 at the start, halfway through, because that is a really funny clip. I'm going to move the cannons up on the left-hand side. And slowly our cannons are getting bigger as well. You can see by the size of our cannons we are getting more cannons because we've been able to buy them now. You're building away? Yeah, you're building away. Yeah, I'm quietly confident in the success of this operation. Defensive operations are always much easier than offensive operations. I don't think they'll cross here because there's very limited ways to get into to cross this part of the river. I'm going to split my cannons up. My boys are still building, but I do like a good defensive battle because you're working on interior lines. If you can, always try and aim to be defensive because really defensive battles are so much easier in this time period because of course you're working on interior lines. You don't have to move your troops around that much. They know what they got to do. They're happy boys. So we've taken a risky option, divided our forces. However, I think that by dividing our forces, we're going to have a very good position in terms of defense by holding these bridges and just generally making it very difficult for the enemy to cross. Even though they may have a numerical advantage in some areas, it shouldn't matter because that numerical advantage will be smashed down by the terrain. The big problem will be if the AI does a big brain strat and does decide to cross over here, because then that will limit what I can do. And because my army is split, I will be forced to withdraw down to Murfreesboro and set up a defensive line there. Still, best laid plans. I'm rather confident the AI will move down this turnpike junction. However, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to move my a unit there as well, because there is a crossing up north. This is why I wish I had cavalry, but it is what it is. Cavalry. But I really don't like cavalry without the better weapons they come with. So I sort of kicked myself by not having the industry focus. Oh, okay, there they are. They're crossing up north. So we got no choice but to move the army up north now. Which is rather clever of the AI. I'm going to tell this guy to halt his orders. So he can hold here. I'm going to start bringing up these forces as well. I might just do a general movement all the way up north now. I can probably defeat their armies in detail, so that's why I'm going to start moving everything up north. And take the risk. Yep, so there's our force. Let's move the armies up. And that's a nice position. Right there. And can I stay on this hill? About. And that is good. So we'll set up along this this crossing. And then we'll move this force up to see if we can pick off these cannons, which are moving up ahead of their troops. Question is, should I try and attack these cores now where they're still rather unprotected? Their cannons will be withdrawing now. We can probably hold here and form a hinge, so actually we're going to hold. We're in a good defensive position here. I can move this core around, and that will be enough. Let's move McClellan closer to the front. Sadly, Stedman is not not a particularly morally strong target, but hey ho. Got to make sure this guy's always got on the rally command to keep rallying the troops to keep them happy. Has the enemy reinforcements arrived yet? No, that is good for me. So what we need to do now is just immediately start aiming to get rid of these guys. Gotta knock those cannons out. Yes, keep charging. Charge this one next. That did not work. How did those cannons beat me? Hopefully these guys reform. If they don't, then this is not a good. This is not good. We can send out some skirmishers though. Start firing on those cannons. Yeah, and now both artillery pieces have withdrawn. That is good for me. However, I am down 2 brigades on that push. But I need to knock out their guns, so it's catch-22 really. The guns need to go. And the best way to knock out guns is in fact with skirmishers. Or cavalry if you've got it. There we are. And then I can call my skirmishers back. If I remember how to do it, but I don't remember how, so you're just going to chill there now. Are these troops back into fighting fitness? Yes, they are. We'll reform our line. Da, 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 da. The big concern will be if I waste too much time here, will the enemy reinforcements come from the west? Let's see how long we've got until the enemy turns up. Not telling me. Not telling me. What a shame. Okay, so they've pushed from the south, so we need to, we do need to push now to crush this line, otherwise the enemy will get us in a flanking envelopment. I need to destroy this army in detail. Bit of a bizarre move, but I don't mind too much. The cannon's in a good spot, so they can just keep firing through the woods. And these guys can just protect behind us. So if we move this army to our rear, hopefully that'll be enough to buy time for the cannons to hold off. These guys are equipped with rifle muskets, so these hopefully be better than Confederate troops. How's my cannons? My cannons still firing? No. I'm gonna have to move these cannons up. Charge forward. Stop sending out skirmishers. Begin the advance. Deval, I've never heard of you before, Deval, but it looks like you've done a good job there. Yeah, we're good. I think we're good. Haven't noticed any enemy movement from behind me yet, so I think we're going to be able to wipe out this force, and this should hopefully knock us into the winning figures. I'm going to order that unit to halt so it can turn. And there we are. Move up Morris to fill in that hole in the line. Move up Cesnola along the wood, along the gully. How's my casualties? Not bad. I'm doing pretty well. And plus, I think these guys don't have enough range as well, so either they've got to push, get into range, or they've got to sit there and take it. Highly recommend the advance order, because it means you'll always be firing, you won't just be marching into point blank range. Begin to rally the weaker troops, so we're going to send off Morel of the 3rd Division to rally the unstable 3rd Brigade. Interesting way of doing it, okay. And on the map, still no movement down south, which is good for us. They've crossed, but I don't think they're going to get here in time, unless they ran across this road, but I don't think it's going to happen. A very Lee-like victory. And the reason why they're firing like rather quickly is because I'm on 2 speed rather than the great and the good 1 speed. Those cannons have been stopped, which is great for us. Sometimes the AI will send their cannons out a bit too far away from their main line, meaning sometimes it can be very easy to knock their cannons out. So the Missouri State Guard has left Missouri to get whipped at Nashville. Classic. Hold, because they're turning to face you. And turn to face them. There we are. Now the cannons are starting to fire away with impunity. Nothing there yet. If I lose this, then I'll know where they are. Sadly, I'm getting some bottlenecking to my rear, but it's not too bad. As long as I keep the pressure up, the troops will be in a constant state of retreat. While the German will advance. I do like the Nashville map. It's the Richmond map I don't like, and Washington, but I think I just like Washington because there's this one straight road and a river to your left, and it's just it's either bottleneck or World War I simulator. Yeah, and people said McClellan was shit. Look at this, probably our best victory to date. There we are. And of course, the AI was intelligent enough to realise, okay, I've lost about half my army, or half my army's in retreat. There's no point sending the other half to continue on the offensive. It's not going to go very well. And so the army, they're going to start withdrawing now from the field. No idea where Burnwick's brigade is going, but here. And that was a good victory. Even though they said it was a minor victory, I think that was a pretty good victory. April 1862. What happens in April 1862? Don't we have an Antietam coming up? I do have to go for the Emancipation Proclamation. Just to LARP. I do need a Antietam just to LARP. But I'll be on the Eastern Front. I can LARP as Abraham Lincoln and get shot in 1864. Or was it 1865? I can't remember. So these two troops should start retreating. Great for me. Now is there one chance before my jam, son? Well, I was going to say that was their one chance before I got more reinforcements, and then these armies would be loath to continue attacking. They've got no supply. They're being pushed back. It's looking good from my perspective. Once I start fortifying here, I can either hold here in case the army's still hovering around Nashville and start pushing in the west, or I can keep on pushing down here. But we have another battle, and that is for the Peninsula Campaign, which unfortunately they've got numerical superiority of 90,000 troops versus my loath 70,000 troops. Hopefully I've got some decent equipment for my army, but I suppose we'll find out. And I've got 22,000 brigades that I've got low morale, so it's going to be an interesting battle. Not 22,000 brigades, 22,000 men. But again, I'm on a defensive. I've got lines of communication, and their army is split between many different corps. So what we got? The Battle of Williamsburg. We got two main objectives. So we've occupied Yorktown, occupied this fellow, and then we need to take Hampton Road and Whitaker Road. However, we can choose to abandon Whitaker Road and set up a strong defensive line behind Burswell Mill, or we can try and hold both. Now I'm thinking if the enemy's coming from here, they're going to move around here and try and cross this river. So I think we should have a defensive line across Burwell's Mill, where they have to cross the river, and have a sort of small choke point on this front there. But we will see how many men do I have to do such a thing. How many men are actually willing and able, not just here. Alternatively, there is a small river crossing across this line as well, which I could use as part of my defensive line. So I could form a defensive line along this river, have a line there, and form what will be a narrow front across this sector. I think that's a better idea, because we'll have the high ground, we'll have natural cover, and we'll have the potential to build fortifications along this route, and then I can send the other army to hold this sector, or at least send a corps up to hold there. Sharp's carbine. Yes, this is good cavalry. That is what I wanted to hear. How many of these boys are unhappy? They're all unhappy. All unhappy boys. How many of my men are actually not unhappy? So if I expect this part to be the main area of fighting, I'm going to put my best troops at the front, and the unhappy boys will go elsewhere. I don't think we're going to advance up to the north. The big old battle. And we'll send a weaker, cowardly corps up to the north to secure that crossing up north. So without further ado, let us do this. So the first order for the cavalry is to secure the southern route. The second order will be to secure this route here. Third order, secure that. Start setting up along this river line. And then keep these corps in reserve behind. Send 2 divisions to secure the north. And then these guys can just hold there. And we've got this nice long road as well to be our lines of interior, so orders will get quickly to where they need to be. Lovely, lovely stuff. Now we can build some very disgusting defensive lines. think that parapet's facing the right way. If not, then I'm going to be very embarrassed. And then there's no point burning anymore. My guys calmed down yet? Yeah, the boys have calmed down. Can I upgrade anyone along these lines? And these fellows are going to set up like this. Now once they're in position, I'm going to set up along there. And we will have a very nice natural defensive line that they're going to have a large difficulty breaking through. But we'll have to wait and see. Unless they decide to do something truly impressive, and that is the flank up north. I think we're going to be pretty healthy. There's not a lot of places they can come through. Yes, that's what we were looking for. And my cannons are initially going to be focusing entirely on counter battery. These cannons firing? Nope, so I'm going to have to move those cannons somewhere else. I'm going to move them over here, along those lines. These cannons firing? Nope. Nope. Send another cannon over here. And these cannons just keep on doing what they're doing. First charge. And you immediately decide to abandon your position. Not the smartest thing to do. And there we are. Now you're thinking. You've decided to go along like this. Okay, okay. Whatever floats your boat. Bad weather, which is causing a bit of a problem. That's it. That's what I want. But whittling is taking his sweet ass time to be doing anything useful. That's a good solid cannon position ward. I'm happy with that. It should just be a Union turkey shoot. As long as nothing comes over there. That's it, that's what we need. That is what we needed. Yep, we scoped this out earlier, so I'm quite happy that I secured this route. And there is some indication of enemy further down at Williamsburg. So good of the Confederacy to try and go in the offensive. There's that crossing attempt. So I got the Sharps rifles. Whoa, look at that. Oh, I thought I was going to go for a proper charge. Guess not. Looks like Frost has gone in to rally the men. I think there's a way to turn off the turning, but it's quite useful most of the time, so I didn't bother. And they are trying to get those cannons up as well, which is impressive. No movements up north, which is good for me. And they haven't tried to cross, which is good for me as well. I'm going to move these cavalry over there to the left-hand side. And the cannons are slowly getting knocked out by my own counter battery. That's a nice artillery shot. What a mess. Nice attempt at a piecemeal offensive, boys. Hope that we've got enough range to hit these guys, otherwise we're in a bad spot. I just have to take the volleys. That's all I can ask. Almost. You almost got me. Good volley, but I'm in cover and you're not, so that's not going to work out well for you. This cannon's going to have to move over to start firing down on the enemy artillery on the right. Bragg, good old Bragg. I do like Bragg. Oh, Johnston's lost it. He's feuding with his commander. He's just going in for a charge. Oh yeah, we're doing pretty well. We're repulsing the enemy rather well. They formed a nice geographical defensive line, and as you can see, it's not gone well for the Confederacy. They're losing a lot of troops in this battle. If we take a look at the casualties right now, they've taken 2,800 casualties. I've taken 1,300, but I don't think that's true though. I think there's probably more than that. Oh, there's about to be more than that because they've decided to march around me. And now they're withdrawing because they've noticed their mistake. Go on, get that volley off. That's it, that's a lovely volley there. I'm going to start moving up some of my corps or brigades. I'm seeing some enemy movement on the left, but with my cavalry there, I'm quietly confident I can hold against a significantly stronger force. And my cannons continue to wear down the enemy's artillery, which is great for me. Oh, every patch Warfinder does reset controls. I hate it when that happens. Also, some of the controls are ridiculously OP, like range finding. It's not like they're not set to a default key, and so when you get to the higher tiers, everyone's sniping you from miles away because they know the keys, and you don't even know range finding exists until someone tells you in a YouTube video. Drag's being smashed. Yeah, easy battles. But there's no need for me to push. I'm playing defensive. Oh, they are trying to cross. They're beginning an attempt at a wider flank. Quite clever of the AI. Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones, but I call him Dr. Jones. We love Dr. Jones here. Dr. Jones is our favourite character, our favourite anime character, because you know the Civil War isn't anime, right? Not a real thing, bros. 9 rounds a minute versus their like 2 rounds a minute. They're going to withdraw. They can't stay there. They refuse to withdraw. But these Confederates really are putting up a fight. Normally they're running for the mountains. Well, normally I play the Confederacy, so the Union national support isn't very high. Damn, that's a concentrated assault on the right. Maybe time to send up the cannons, I think. And then we're going to send out some skirmishers. And withdraw back into this cover. Reigning needs to move over there. Hello, Hoffman. You're welcome. You're seeing the Battle of Williamsburg. Quite a good battle. 80,000, 90,000 Confederates versus about 70,000 Union. But we have the strategic high ground, so we are inflicting catastrophic casualties upon the Confederate troops. It's a strong old battle line. I'm tempted to send out some skirmishers to harass that cannon. Get that cannon if you can, boys. Come on, send out some skirmishers. Actually, don't send out skirmishers. Run away. These guys can send out skirmishers to bully the cannons there, but you guys should be running. If only I could get these guys to move forward. Dr. Jones have withdrawn. Hampton's detachment is a load of scouts, so they're not a problem. I'm going to start redirecting my reserves down to the south. Just in case. Oh no, they're pushing off my scouts and my skirmishers. No, those skirmishers are smashed. I wish I could give these guys better weapons. Oh, that's a strong pusher. I need to send off assets. That's a charge, that is. They're charging. I need to counter-attack that. Divert cavalry to this hole. They are mowing down troops now. It is... It really is bayonet point. That was a very clever thing of the AI to do there. It's a very, like, they've really evened out the playing field. I'm gonna have to start doing some high IQ maneuvers. I know there's a cannon there, but I've got to start firing to the flank. Good, now fire at long range. Yeah, that's lovely that. Well done, Elliot. Okay, the reserves are sent, so that should halt any further potential for them to break through. I'm going to contain that advance. Meanwhile, Elliot's going to keep on firing at this fellow. And advance on that one cannon. Trying to start pushing forward, we have worn them down quite a bit. That line's broken. Charge! The reinforcement, we've got it, this is the line's broke, this is great. Go! Hold! And you guys get on your horse. You should have got there by now, but because I took you off your horse, you're nowhere near. Sweep them off the field. Humphreys has done extremely well to hold for as long as possible here. Oh, he's gone. A buff and a half this. This is a good battle, it is up in the air. I first thought it was going to be okay, they'll push and they've got nothing left, but they keep on coming. Start moving troops down. Is it time to do my own push? That's the question. No, it's not. Fill in the hole. And send a skirmishers to bully this cow, this artillery. Okay, it looks like the troops are beginning to withdraw. I think the battle is ours. But that was a hell of a battle. You can just tell when I'm out of wounded on this field. Like, we've got a lot of wounded on our lines, but that's why you don't see as many guys in blue, but it was a hairy business, that centre push. I'll try and push, hunt down their cannons now. I don't want them to bring back that many cannons. And the enemy has withdrawn. Oh, I want to get rid of those cannons, so they ain't gonna stop us yet. Until all those cannons are dealt with. Yeah, and most of our guys are all concentrated over on the in the parapets. A very good multifaceted battle. He had pushes on the left flank, he had pushes on the right, some attempts to push. Yeah, nothing over here, but yeah, I was very good. Happy with that battle. Very happy with that. It was actually a very impressive set piece battle. So we'll send out Wallach to hunt down what's left enemy cannons. Damn you. And yeah, casualty speaks for themselves. 8,200 casualties my end, 18,000 casualties their end. That's a good position to set up as well. That you set up that natural stream meant that I could fortify, had greater defensive advantage, and meant that I could whittle them down. It was a very good narrow part of the front. I'm very happy about terrain placement. Blow my own trumpet. Damn, I'm so impressed with my own abilities. God, I'm good. That was a good victory. So those armies will be withdrawing now to probably back to Richmond, if I'm honest. But this leaves me in somewhat of a position of not being able to advance anymore because my guys have to recover from the battle. I'm gonna go and get some more cannons. But I can't get too big, else I'll start running out of supply. These guys are almost green, which is good. And these fellows are no longer starving to death, which is also pretty good. Still, very, very impressive early start of the campaign. Of the 1862 campaign. Food is still a massive issue over here, so that's why I'm not advancing. Until my food situation is fixed up here, I can't really do much. Unless I reduce the size, but it's only 24,000 men, it's not a big army. They've left it open. Oh, I could push if I wanted to, but it's such a risky job. I'm going for it. I'm going for Richmond. I've just got to win that fort, otherwise we're going to have problems. There we are, that fort's taken. Move the army into Richmond. As long as I don't go to red readiness, we'll be alright. That's Richmond retaken. They're at 56 national support, which is great for me. Captured enemy supply at Richmond. How about CC plus economy? I'm going to go bankrupt. What? Time to start printing more money. Yes, yes. Start putting a ton of troops in Fort McCook. Fort McCracken. That's how you spell McCook. Lovely. This is good. Really good. All I gotta do is maintain my army here now. And then move down the second army, which is now ready. Push them out. Gotta keep issuing them bombs, bro. These armies continue to hover around the west, so I'm not going to move over there. I know we have got some cores. I've got a 27,000 core there, which I've got to be careful of, so I may start increasing the Department of West's control. I can't because I've ran out of men. That's not good. Once we print more notes, we'll go down conscription. I sort of lost sight of where the enemy is. I'm going to move the army to Pennsylvania down here, set up another supply line and start trying to tease around at Lynchburg as well. More bonds, of course. How's that doing for national morale? Probably not doing very well. Supply still good. You're set to offensive, yes. Yes, you are. So let us move down the Department of Pennsylvania. Let's upgrade these boys if we can. What are these guys equipped with? Oh, that's a lovely, well-equipped army, that. This is a very well-equipped army. With 2 artillery batteries as well, which is also very good. I'm loath to upgrade this one more. This is going to be another Chancellorsville, isn't it? Probably. Our army's still beginning to rapidly outpace the Confederacies. I wonder where these guys are going. I doubt they'll be going into here. Wouldn't make much sense. Just in case, I'll upgrade the army to Pennsylvania as well. It's taking a while for them to get fully upgraded because of their position. Assault the battle. I'm going to fight that. Don't know how many troops are there. And here we are. So what we got on the enemy's list? Quite a few troops. 56,000 to my 80,000. But my 80,000 are extremely well equipped. Even without industrialization, I am a very well equipped boy. What's the objectives? Occupied, occupied, occupied. And I've occupied all objectives. But because we're invading, I think we should be playing defensively. So I'm going to stop. I'm not going to play defensive. It's too easy to play defensive. I'm going to stop playing offensively on this game mode. Only play defensively if on the strategic map I'm defensive. They attack me, otherwise it's a bit too OP, those capture points. So let's take a look. They're going to come down from, so the main battle area will be around McDermott's railway line. So we'll set up to hopefully push either along this line or set up a defensive line there. But if they're moving over here, then I suspect they're going to concentrate most of their force around McDermott railway line, so I should be moving my force here. Otherwise, I'm going to end up weak on the right. So many troops, I don't know what to do with them. Cannons for days. Let's play the battle. So first line, move to secure McDermott Railroad. Second line, move secure to the right of that. Cannons, 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 cannons. I think I should just move you along the main roads. Otherwise, it's going to take you ages to get anywhere. Who hasn't received orders yet? You can go up on the right. We should have a pretty easy battle because these guys are equipped with cutting-edge weapons, and we've got the numerical advantage. Like, like hornets, like my little blue bees are gonna come down. Yeah, we're good. Though they've got the joys of the interior line, and they may potentially be moving up via Cheatham. I should have actually paid attention to that. That may mean my flank gets turned. We'll start advancing then, so we can adjust our flank and potentially pivot. Oh no, we've got a bottleneck on the marching. Cannons got in the way. Enemy reinforcements coming in? No, we're good. I don't think I've fought on Charlottesville yet. Oh, you're slow marchers. Yeah, there's that pivot. Thought that was going to happen. What to do? Start pivoting the army. Where are you fellows going? I'm going to tell you guys to halt because I'm going to move you over to that right instead. Your lateness may be my my salvation. Yeah, suicidal cannons, great for me. Great for me, I can live with that. Advance. Advance. We can turn this to our advantage. That's if you don't get ripped apart by canister shot. Which is a distinct possibility. We got a lot of delay in movement. You're going to start moving over here instead. This appears to be where the main enemy is. Good. 1x cannon out the way. Keep advancing. I do love it when you've got to change your plans. It's such a good game in that regard. In fact, like the way sometimes the plans just don't go according to plan, you've got to react. And you don't have to react fast. It's not like a, what do you call it? It's not like a Korean strategy game. You like click all the buttons on it as quickly as possible. You've got to react quite slowly, and the game will slowly execute your orders. And so the battle evolves. You know, initially it became this, and then it's slowly evolving into this sort of pivot action. It's such a clever game. The devs really are, well, the dev, I think, is really a very impressive game developer. I hope this game is really well for him. Imagine the amount of money that goes into games like Creative Assembly's Total Wars, and sometimes they can just feel rather basic. But this game has probably had not a lot of money thrown into it. It hasn't got a massive dev team, and yet has been able to pull off this sort of dynamic gameplay. I would call this the RTS Game of the Year. Right now, I think this is the RTS Game of the Year. If I do a Game of the Year YouTube video and talk about what strategy games I've played, I reckon this is a contender for the RTS Game of the Year. There's nothing else comes close to it. It's such a unique it's just unique gameplay. And the sense of scale, oh, I'm going to suck this game's dick. All right, ready, this is getting graphic. Like, the sense of, on one part of the battlefield, I can have an engagement that is slowly spiraling into a full frontal battle. And the other part, I can just have some general maneuvering. I've still got brigades and divisions. I've still got corps and divisions still moving in. The battle still hasn't fully formed yet. Sure, could the AI be better? Well, you're never going to get perfect AI, but it's enough to keep you entertained. That's what matters. And the strategic AIs sort of balances out the primitiveness of the battle AI. So I'm moving down to capture this line of entry, so the enemy can't use it to come up behind me. Cannons that. I don't like cannons. Moving to push these cannons off. No, that's a bit silly there. You put a cannon there, but it's okay. He's not too bad, comrade. I haven't seen many feuds either in the latest patch. I wonder if they've toned down the feuds a little bit, or maybe I just got lucky and I put commanders in the right place. You got to push these boys off. Don't be fooled by cannons. They are small groups, but if they get onto your flank, or if you spend too long trying to engage them, they'll just rip you apart. Cannons are extremely powerful. Because you won't rout over time. It'll be, all right, one volley, you go in red, next volley you're out. And there's this third line of enemy advance, so yeah, we're going to get a pivot around the Potomac's. Or Potomatox, that's how they say it, don't you? A Potomatox. So move down, secure here. Bring the cannons up so they're nice and close so they can be brought to bear. Pivot. There we are. There we are. My cannons are almost in a position to be of use. Almost. That's just a rogue unit. I don't know what that's doing. That's in cover, that's in cover. We're going to move these guys up. Yeah, they're already moving up, that's good. Into a reserve. And these guys are beginning to flank around. I want to cancel that order. I want to move them a bit like there. There we are. This flank is going to take some time, but I'm quietly confident in this working. I believe. I don't believe in you. Why do you keep turning like that? Just keep going forward. I also note that different battlefields can give you completely different experiences. So, like say in Chancellorsville, if you've got bad terrain and bad roads, it's going to be a war. It's going to be a really frustrating battle because the orders aren't going to go anywhere. Your troops are going to have massive delays. It's just going to be a massive chaotic mess. Whereas if you play, say, the Battle of Washington, you've got that long line of communication, and so you can have these quick, urgent battles that turn quite chaotic, and you just stumble upon the enemy when you're least expecting it. Cheeky push. Nice try, old boy, but you can't really win with that amount of cannons. Yeah, you never stood a chance, Wilcox. Never stood a chance. Really don't like what this guy's doing. What this guy's doing. And then we've got our reserve corps coming up. Which initially was our flanking corps, but that went the way of the dodo. This cannon's going to get even closer. onto that crest of the hill so they can fire down. And then we're going to have a real turkey shoot. I think we're going to win this because of our technological superiority or our industrial superiority. That should be most of the cores moving over now. And then by the end of the day, we should be in a position to counterattack. No losses, I'm happy with that. Oh, look at that cannon shot, damn. Look at that grape shot, oh, this is awful. Look at that reverse slope, that is a valley of death. Can I get a little bit closer to see the damage done on that? Yes, I can. That was pretty easy, but again, it's because of the terrain. I got lucky with the pivot and the terrain. If I hadn't noticed, or I was a bit of a noob, then this could have been very chaotic. Like if I kept on pushing straight ahead, then it would have hit my flank and it would have been a complete chaotic nightmare. But that being said, there's still a lot of troops on the field. To strengthen that right. However, I think they're going to withdraw. I don't think they'll stay. Go to the skirmishers. I don't know why you're using the skirmishers. Reynolds has got to go. He can't withstand that bombardment any longer. That's a skirmishers, nothing to worry about. The skirmy boys. Let's really hope the blockade has done some damage to the Confederate war effort. I need to go fire at that, council that. I need to go fire at that. Okay. So that bug still... Oh no, it doesn't persist anymore, that's good. 4th Division. And then the right flank. 3rd Brigade. Sixth Division, move up on the right there. So the plan here will be a gradual advance. And a pivot round if I can. Although I'm tempted just to go for a YOLO push. No, that's not going to work. That's a shame. Well, we'll give it a go anyway. A strong old punch through. And these are the scouts skirmishing ahead. But it looks like they're withdrawing from the field anyway, so they're no longer interested in my grand advance. Quite a feat. But to be fair, they've only got 56,000 men versus my like 80,000, so the game is rigged from the start. And start advancing the rest of the corps. We'll start doing a general advance. This is the turning point for the Confederacy, I think. I fear that unless they can pull something out of the bag in terms of manpower or getting some sort of military dominance on one part of the theatre, this feels like the Confederates are collapsing. I mean, I haven't destroyed their armies, but they can't replace the casualties. And each time they get pushed back, their supply lines get lost. I've got to build more supply lines. And as my armies get stronger or more competent and well trained, they'll be able to be readier quicker to advance faster or advance more often. Meaning that eventually, if this persists and they don't pull something out of the bag, they're going to end up in a really bad situation where they're just going to be constantly pushed out of their supply positions. Did I just lose an objective, did I? Oh, there's a lone enemy unit over there. Probably Stuart's cavalry or something. Still, they withdrew in good order. So it could have been a lot worse. But I think that the casualties will tell. Yeah. The casualties do indeed tell. Off to final victory soon. And we'll march down to secure Charlottesville. I've got to auto-resolve that. There's that irksome little fort. There we are. I believe that was a... what do you call it? That was a... That newspaper was a Capture 10 Forts award, which we've just done. So I'm going to move my army to stand up here, just in front of the fort, so we don't end up fighting a fort battle by accident. I'll put some more men in Fort MacArthur. Which I can, which is unique. I didn't expect that. Yeah, manpower-wise, we are now rocketing up. So this is the period where if they win a major battle, I think, it damages the morale of the Union. So if you're playing a Confederacy, there are periods in the war which you can do to win it. For example, 1862 is one of those periods where if you do enough, win a decent victory, or you can undermine Lincoln's influence and damage national morale. Also in 1864, if you can get the Union morale low enough, or the Union's national support low enough, the Confederacy, what do you call it, McClellan will take over as governor, as president, and so those are little things you can do as a Confederacy to win. But I don't think it's on there yet. Financially, the Confederacy still appears to be doing okay. Production? Let's take a look at production. if we can without breaking the game. There we are. No, I can't. Damn you. Sometimes you can see here, if I click this, there we are. Yeah, everyone's production's going up. Trade. You're still getting stuff out. I need to really amp up that blockade on you. Time to build more ships. Nothing too fancy, just a load of garbage ships now. There we are. Make sure I haven't got any troops, any fleets hanging around where they shouldn't be. You're still blockading. You're still blockading. You're still blockading. Blockading, 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 blockading. Let's build some more navy fleets. Build it in... not Newbury, Michigan. No. Quincy. Where's New York? There's New York. New York Harbor, because I know where that is. That's really the only reason why I do it. That's fine. And you're barely afloat. Okay. Add some more ships to you. There you are. That's I don't do nothing for you. I gotta build some guys on Fort McIntosh as well. There we are. Build some units in the Department of the West. Let's get up to about 30k, nothing more. Nothing too fancy. And make sure this fort is garrisoned, Fort Martin. Hello again. Oh, hello again, just just continuing on our advance down into Union territory. Oh, not Union, Confederate territory. Which we're doing not too badly at, even though our food and supply is still pretty bad in the west. This is why you never campaign in Missouri. If you're going to campaign in Kentucky. Just push the Confederacies out of Kentucky, otherwise push them out of Missouri, otherwise you're going to end up in this awful situation where it's too big. Still same game, still pushing on. Won some very successful battles to retake Richmond and push the Confederacy out of North Virginia. Now I'm just moving down some Union forces to assist. But as you can see, we're doing extremely well, at least strategically, in all theatres really. Although manpower-wise, we're starting to not be able to afford our armies, so you know, it's all swings and roundabouts. You shouldn't be starving. You've got plenty of food. I have to upgrade my supply depots. Upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. A lot of supply depots right now. Wow, you're really struggling for supply. Oh, it's because you're in the woods, that's why. Is it because you were in the woods? Yeah, I was in the woods. So what happened there is because they were in the woods, they weren't getting supply from the railroad. Right, I'm glad I got that sorted, otherwise things would have gone very badly. So what do I want to do next? There's still a large contingent of Confederate troops hovering around my west. So I don't really want to push here. But if I push south, then I run the risk of the Confederate troops moving up behind me. At the same time, I don't want to push west because it deprives me of my main strategic aim, which is, of course, Chattanooga and eventually Atlanta. So this is a bit of a stalemate here because of the strategic situation. But over time, once I begin to push further south into Arkansas, this should hopefully solve itself. And these guys will either stop moving over to fight one army or moving over to fight the other. So let's not worry about that too much. Okay, next place to blockade. Who's getting the most blockading done? Blockaded 41%. Blockading 44%. It's 37%, so this needs more blockading. Whoa, 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 is that a Confederate invasion? Okay, that's clever, that's clever. Looks like the Missouri State Guard has gone on the offensive to cut off my lines of communication. I can't have that. I'm going to move up and fix that. So I have to move up this army back up to push these guys off my fort. Good, good, good. Blockade for days. To keep that blockade going. Even though that's a garbage blockade. Yeah, well, I think we're in a good position to keep on advancing. So I'm going to start moving the army of Richmond down. I'm going to take that risk again to move that army of Richmond over to secure Norfolk. Nah, you got to stop starving, bro. Starving's bad for you. I gotta stop now and return back to the to fight that militia on to the left. Where are you going? That's got to starve. I'm not going to chase that. I'm going to move back down to Nashville. Meanwhile, we'll send the army of northeastern Virginia over to push these guys back. And what I'm tempted to do is send the Army of Pennsylvania, and this can be my militia army, to go and recover and capture this minor bit of territory there. That's good thinking there. There you go, the more you know. How's my supply? We're going to build a supply depot just in case. Can't fall into the let's keep pushing meme. Never goes well. Let's do the Tariff Act as well. That should get us financially solvent. Or conscription. How am I feeling on manpower? I mean, it's still pretty even Stevens. I'm going to go for conscription. That's to be on the safe side. That Missouri State Guard's really pissing me off. I'll leave that be for now. Worst case scenario, I've got to pull out of Kentucky. And start moving the army up there. Okay, I think we'll call this the final battle of the day. So this was to be expected. I did expect a confederacy to move down to challenge the advance into Virginia, which makes sense because, of course, I am making extreme amount of progress, and I'm beginning to rapidly push them back out of the great state. So this will be our final battle for the day. So it's 66,000 versus my 67, 68. About 68,000 with our 142 guns versus my 70,000 and my 65 guns. So they've got a strong gun army. Meanwhile, my army has got low morale of 1,500 men, which isn't that bad. But I need to go for a smoke, ladies and gentlemen, so begin, shall we? The great battle. I wonder what the battlefield map will be. Hopefully not Richmond. Oh no. Hopefully it hasn't switched to my portable hard drive, otherwise that's going to be pretty bruh. No, it hasn't, that's good. Enemy is Burkeville. It's 21,000 men right now. Supplies outstanding, jolly good. Here's a line. All right, so let's look at the strategic situation, shall we? We've got we've nearly got all the capture points. There's only one capture point up in the air. Potomatics are still there hanging around. We've got enemy lines of advance in these three areas. So I think we should set up a line here and a line there. That's where they'll enter the main battle area. From here, they should march up to join the battle. And from there, they should also march up to join the battle. So it should all coalesce around Clover Hill. That's my thinking. What do you mean you got reboard muskets? I thought I upgraded you plebs. Oh no, this is the pleb army. Why? But this is also the army of good cav, so the cav will go on the left flank or the right flank if you want to be particular about it. I also need to get more cannons for this army. But let's do this. Oh yeah, Meade move up over there and give the general order to fire at long range. And this final corps can move up to capture this hill. And cavalry is just going to stay up in the air on the left. Cannons! Cannons! God, I love cannons. Something about a cannon battery is what really tickles the biscuit. I was watching a military enactment day down in I think it was Maidstone, called Military Odyssey, and of course a lot of the Europeans with their like Tiger tanks and or Panzer replicas, they weren't they couldn't come over because of course they didn't have like all the passports and that sort of stuff. But there was a British reenactors group that reenacted the Civil War, and they reenacted the Wilderness Campaign, and it went this like sort of dense foliage, and they showed us reenactment cannon, and boy, those guys pack a punch. Like they showed us the drill and everything, and you had to cover your ears because of how loud those cannons were. It really was an impressive display. And yeah, and then they did a reenactment battle with those cannons, and the Confederates won, which is pretty good. I think they choose which each day to see who wins and who loses. I do like military enactment groups. I think it's very impressive because they get all together and they spend all this money on this kit and this equipment, and they really make the day of it. It's very impressive what they do, those reenactments. I mean, the amount of time and effort that goes into making it. So it looks like we were right. Cannons are already beginning to fire, and I move my cannons to counter battery. At least one battery on counter battery, and the other battery will just be firing away as it pleases. And here's the thing I do see quite often: the cannons will move up first. But we should win that because because the AI cannons will tend to be part of the divisions, so you won't have cannon superiority. They won't have firepower superiority. Whereas my boys will, because I have a nice, great, grand battery in every battle. It's going to be quite a wide flank. So it's going to take a while for these orders to get through. But hey ho, it is what it is. I need to move these guys forward just to shoot these skirmishers because we don't have good cannons. We don't have good muskets. Good, the cavalry scouted to see where their main force is coming from. Yes, so because I think my guys got high initiative, I've already captured all the capture points. So all these capture points are occupied. There's only one capture point I didn't occupy, which was this objective here, which I have now captured. And so now it's more as a defensive battle while I just got to hold what I keep pushing. Sometimes it can be quite RNG based, but for the most part, I've been quite lucky in the campaign so far in keeping my, well, having the advantage in capture points. I'm going to move the cavalry over onto the left because I don't want them to try and flank over this this river line while my troops begin to move forward. I don't tend to have reserves. Sometimes I have reserves if they're too far away. For example, these guys are quite far away, so I might be tempted to use these as reserves. So I'll tell them to halt and move them over to Clover Hill just in case. Otherwise, this corps is going to be too far away to actually prove useful in the battle because it's going to take them such a long time to get orders across. As a strong concentration of enemy troops there, which I'm a bit worried about. But the cannon concentration should be enough to deter a frontal assault for now. That's easy pickings. That's got to go. I've got to prey upon these cannons. It's like their cannon battery's just been completely unprotected and it's just been mown down. Not good. Not good at all. and the Confederacy looks like it's been taken with its pants down. I'm charging these cannons. And that's their cannon advantage gone. Like, completely gone. This battle, yes, quite dumb, but it's mostly because it depends on the situation. In this situation, they've all marched up and they've just stumbled into this defensive line. They probably weren't expecting me, and now they've got to send all these orders out to reorganize their troops, and this is going to take them some time to do so. So sometimes you're going to have quite an easy game with the AI being quite a potato, like in this scenario, but it's because of the nature of the mechanics. With that can take them quite a long time to react and stop what's going on. Well, eventually they'll sort themselves out. They probably weren't expecting that level of aggressiveness either, because there's no reason for me to attack. That 5th Division needs to move over here now. Now, go. We can keep on doing this chasing action. As long as they stay on the horses, we can just keep chasing these guys down. Division level is quite hard to play. I tried division level, it's extremely awkward. And sometimes the AI will do stuff idiotic and just get you mown down. I don't think the AI is intelligent enough for divisional level micromanagement or macro management. This is just because of congestion. A lot of the messages will be stuck trying to send messages through to all these cores because of just how congested this front is. But we'll see what the AI does here. We've had a few good games. We'll see what it does now. What's this great plan? Potentially just stand there and get mown down. Hopefully you guys don't have particularly good range. Don't think you do, this is good for me. Move quickly. Charge. I'm gonna send Franklin to charge those cannons, see if it works. Probably not. No, no. Franklin's not gonna make it. Halt, halt, Franklin, halt. Yeah, Franklin's too slow. He's too slow a boy. Yeah, he's broken. Come on, boys, give me a volley. No! Springfield musket, why are you so slow? There we are. That's somewhat of a volley. That's it. We're good now. They've got their fire up. .400 casualties on the 3rd Brigade. These units are stuck, paralysed, absolutely paralysed. This is good for me. Move these guys up to fire on these cannons. These cannons have got to go. I hate skirmishers. The AI will sometimes send out skirmishers on their own accord and it's getting in the way. Anytime skirmishers are good for is pestering artillery. The reserves are coming in. The 5th Division under Peastone, not Eastone. No, what are you doing? Don't do it, car. Just give me a volley. Oh, this is awful. Who said charging cannons was not a good idea? Ah, you cowards. And Johnston's broken a hole in my right line. It should be alright, the cannon should close it. So I'll move up some troops to re-solidify. This cannon has been an absolute bane. Really has been slowing down my offensive. Let's see if Keys can finally do what I've been wanting it to do. Yeah, Keys is always reliable. Keys gets the work done. That's it, that's what we needed. We'll retreat Getty from this position and move down. What's left? A slightly damaged left flank. Johnson's going in for round 2. No, he's now feuding. He no longer wants to follow his commander's orders. I don't think that's going to work out for you. Got some teasing on my left. Switch these out to loose order and move these fellows around. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense that skirmishing was just an harassing tactic. Hoffman. I think we're pretty good here. I think the AI has had enough time to reform. It's starting to reform now, but it's just not had enough time to do so. And at this stage, we've already won the left flank, so I'm already in a position to begin closing in the trap. I mean, they're going for it. They're now attacking my weak left. But these guys can fire 9 rounds a minute and they're in cover, so... That's the great thing about horse cav, or cav, not horse cav, because obviously cavalry is going to be horse cavalry. Just the pure brutality of the weapons they have. LaSalle is quite good. I quite like LaSalle. Alec, haven't really seen him much, but I know LaSalle's saving a few battles. In other campaigns. Yeah, oh hell, breech loading rifle, exactly. Breech loading and lever, what do you call it? Lever action rifles are the dream. Now, if I'm feeling particularly devious, I can start trying to close a nice trap on these enemies. They are beginning to target the weak right or the weak left. But these horse cow can really pack a punch, so these can buy a lot of time for me. And even if they are pushed back, the amount of casualties they suffer compared to what the enemy suffers is insignificant. Yeah, they're really beginning to start forcing on that left. I'd retreat now if I could, but I'm too committed. Like, they're flanking me. It's just a bad time to be alive. That's why we kept the horse cap here, to delay and buy time. Oh, were they? Okay. So, but yeah, I just think lever action is like I don't think lever action in my mind is the same as a breech loader. I'm tempted to move up the cannons to help pivot. I'm moving up the left cannons to help pivot now. This is not good. But they're doing alright. The cavalry's holding its own. Start moving up the reserves as well. Oh, the reserves are already being moved up. They're already committed to shoring up the right. No, I wish I had more men now. Have you guys stopped panicking? Yes, you have. That's good. Good thing about the guys routed by enemy artillery is that most of the time they will reform. It's just the morale shock of the artillery blast. Oh no, my boy's running out of ammo. Oh no, they're really pushing. Come on, Ricketts. Hold! I can't retreat him. If they get on horseback, they're going to get mown down. This is some custom last stand right now. They can't hold any longer. They got to retreat. They're surrounded. They're being artillery bombarded. Being hit in the flank. I'm pulling these guys back. Run away. Yeah. Yes, on the larger battles the frame rate does drop significantly, but fortunately the game is not too bad. It's just that when there's so many troops in one space that it can be quite a drain. Bear in mind I'm on a, what do you call it, 2080 Super with 24, I think, no, 32 gigabyte RAM. Yeah, so it can be quite a slog. But bear in mind this is 80,000 sprites in the field. Like this is and that's only on the enemy side, so actually it's like 120 sprites. 120,000 sprites. All firing, all manoeuvring. Unfortunately I couldn't close the trap because my units were too busy bogged down shooting at retreating Confederate troops, which is quite the nuisance. Yes, sadly Foster has not been able to reach his destination in time. But I think our cavalry's done such a good job that it's not going to matter. Yeah, they're retreating now. That was really good help by the cavalry. I mean, Ricketts is extremely... I think I'm going to recruit Ricketts. I'm going to promote Ricketts. Ricketts did extremely well on that part. He just held and held and held until you almost ran out of ammo. Yeah, and you can see the casualties are completely different. 13,000 their end, 4,000 my end. I would say cavalry is OP in this game. Like cavalry with upgraded breech loading rifles are extremely potent. If you get 2,000 cavalry in a division, four divisions of 2,000 strong cavalry with breech loading rifles, they can hold a flank. Get them in skirmish formation and they will mow people down. Still, we need to promote Ricketts. As soon as this game is loaded. It may also be because my portable hard drive, which I do my recording from, and I have some of my Steam games on. Sometimes if I'm away, my computer will switch to the portable hard drive, which is quite a nuisance, so I can't unplug it and plug it back in when I'm recording. But it's unlikely, otherwise I'd have suffered a lot more lag. An easy victory. But we need to promote Ricketts. So first thing first, where's Ricketts? Ricketts, you need to get replaced by someone else. And then you can take Ricketts. Right, where were you? I've got to write you down. R-I-C-K. You are now Divisional Commander. And for the Army of Virginia, of Northeastern Virginia, you're also going to get more cannons. And that should be enough for you. I don't want to do that. Oh, lovely. West Virginia's given me 15,000 raw recruits. That's great. But unfortunately, economically, I can't continue to massively recruit. So we'll end it for today, but we'll do a strategic situations. Let me just save the game. No worries, G-Sam. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and have a good one. So, what's the strategic situation? We have counterattacked from the north. We're using Patterson's highly upgraded army to secure Lynchburg, or Charlottesville. Meanwhile, after holding off against the Confederate counterattack on the Peninsula, we've counterattacked and retook Richmond, effectively solidifying our position in the north of Virginia. We are now going to begin our advance further south, or we have begun our advance further south down to Petersburg, where we've moved the Army of Northeastern Virginia to secure the railroad line. And then the Department of Pennsylvania, once it's fully supplied and is no longer starving to death like the plebe it is, will begin to assist in the march down south to capture Lynchburg. And so we'll have the Army of Northeastern Virginia holding this railway section, and then we'll have the Department of Pennsylvania moving down to secure Lynchburg there. However, this is going to take time, and I don't want to move forward until my army is fully supplied with its provisions. Otherwise, we're going to struggle and we'll end up being pushed all the way back north again, which I don't want to happen. Meanwhile, the Army of Pennsylvania and some random guy called Henry Wessels is being relocated from West Virginia because it's too small to be of any use on the offensive or breaking through the southern theatre, just to secure the coastline provinces of Norfolk, and then as the campaign goes on, it will continue to move down, securing the coastline. And that will be the Eastern Front so far, hopefully if they don't counterattack, which I don't think they're going to. But we're in a comfortable position of holding North Virginia, or north of, Northeast Virginia. National morale for the Confederacy is at 55. I need it at 25 for it to surrender. But at this stage, I'm doing so well, and economically, it should be taking such a pacing in terms of recruitment because Virginia is where it gets a load of its manpower from. It should be a pretty easy game of beginning to keep on pushing and persisting on the east. However, thankfully, we're out of Virginia now, Richmond now, so we won't have spam battles with Richmond. Over in Kentucky, we have had a battle. That's where the Confederacy tried to push McClellan out before I got more Union reinforcements. However, they've been rather clever, and they are moving down troops to continue to harass my lines of communication down in Kentucky, such as Louisville and Howling Green. This has pretty much halted my offensive, or halted any offensive action I can do in not Tennessee. Is it Tennessee? Yes, in Tennessee, because of this sort of this raiding warfare by Missouri. I'm hoping that my garrisons are enough to deter any further advances, or hopefully are strong enough to push back the Missouri State Guard. But if not, then I'll have to retreat McClellan back to push the Missouri State Guard out, and we'll have a few battles of Kentucky, and this will delay me considerably. This was Fort Gracie, wasn't it? So I need to upgrade Fort Gracie. There we are. So this is going to be a stalemate war for now. Meanwhile, Grant is continuing on his extreme western campaign and has moved into Carrollton, Arkansas. Now here's the tricky situation. On the one hand, I have general reports of several corps of 26,000 men. Just one corps of 26,000 men hovering around in Arkansas. Now, if I just continue to advance, they may just go around me and capture my rear lines of supply. So I can either go the slow and steady route of building forts and continuing to slow crawl further south into Fort Smith and then Little Rock. Or I can play a bit more risky, just use my supply lines and push down and hope they don't counterattack. Because of how punishing the West is in terms of supply, losing that rear line of communication is not worth it. So I'm going to go slowly in the West and just build up forts and slowly but surely continue to advance south. So I don't really care if I lose Crelliton, but I do care if I lose a supply point down at Fayetteville. So most of my advance will be going along this route. It's going to be extremely slow with low supply, but it's not much I can do about it because that's the nature of this theatre. Altogether, and we also go to the Navy aspect. And the Navy aspect, we're continuing to blockade, sending the boys in the never-ending blockades. So we've got lots of blockades going on. Considerable amount of economic damage, hopefully. And we're sending up more ships to keep that stranglehold going. But yeah, Missouri State Guard is being rather clever with its small force of 14,000 men. So, in terms of economic damage, they've done 17 million trade warfare to me. I've done 37 million to them in blockading. My men fielded is significantly higher than, well, substantially higher than the Confederates of 280,000. But you've got to bear in mind a large proportion of that force is in garrisons, and so like in the history book, sure, the Confederate Union had 100,000 men, but they can only use 50,000 for the battle because so much is used to solidify the reserve lines, which I'm currently in the same predicament. Loyal states, yeah, self-explanatory. My morale is still pretty high. National support is still pretty high, and national morale is still pretty high. My weapons industry is not as strong as the Confederacy's, but that's because I've been spending so much on my armies. So that just means they've got more guns in the bank, but I've got more men fielded with good guns. Apart from that, that looks pretty fine. Militarily, there's not much to talk about. Finances, no matter how hard I try, I just can't seem to strangle the Confederacy. Even though I've been trying my best to do so. Policies, we're pushing down the conscription just to hedge our bets so we don't do anything stupid and make sure we've got enough manpower for the next stage in case the Confederacy starts to boom in its manpower. Once that's done, we may do the Emancipation Proclamation, but my troops haven't got particularly low morale at the moment, and I've still got quite high state support, so I'm tempted to avoid that for now just to keep the Confederacy closer to surrendering. Financially as well, we're on B+, which isn't good, so I may actually have to go down to government funding 2 to keep that B, to keep the debt away, keep the debt away for another day. But I can't go down industry because of my bonuses, and I can't really go down economy, so this is going to be the next thing to go for. What's confiscation? I may also go down here. Still, it's a good, very interesting game. Well, a game so far. We've had quite a few battles. It hasn't been death by the Battle of Washington or death by the Battle of Richmond, and there's still quite a lot to play for. However, this could be a start of a snowball where the Confederacy starts to lose a lot of its ability to fight because Virginia is such an important state for the Confederacy, and yet they're almost pushed out of it. I mean, I've got air to control almost spreading down into, what state is this? North Carolina. So you can see it's going very well. Still, the Union is the easier campaign. It's a slightly different campaign because it's a more slower going advance, whereas Confederacies you can play more defensive, and it's just about fighting key battles. Still, I think I've saved. I'm going to save again because that's the sort I'm very paranoid about that. And we'll call it a day here. I'll upload this to YouTube, and I will edit out the wait so you don't have to watch. And I mean, you can skip through it anyway, but it is what it is. I think when I do my Confederacy game, I'm going to see if I can do a naval invasion of New York just for the memes. But we'll play that by ear. I may be even tempted to abandon like Missouri and just meme it all the way over there with an army. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you've had a good one. I can't end my stream because Streamlabs is playing up. I'm going to press the button and see if it ends it, but we will find out. So thank you and adieu.